I decided to use this ash slab that I milled on my sawmill, and I am going to cut it up and divide it into sections to make trays. And these markings show how I'm going to be dividing the slab up into sections. I plan on keeping the live edge for the bottoms of the trays. And here I'm cutting the first section. I won't bother you with the rest, just the first section. And here I'm using my old Vever jointer outside to keep the dust down and get the bottom edge flat on these slabs. As you can see, jointing outside is the best way to go to keep the dust level at a minimum. I decided to make a test tray using my shaper origin to make the cuts of my recessed area of the tray. And this is the initial part of the cut, the outer part. I have to pocket out the rest of the inner part next. I got this portable rechargeable blower that is great for blowing out sawdust out of whatever project you're working on. And this is after I did the pocketing of the inner part of the tray. And now I'm just sanding out, refining the test tray. And here I used my hand carving tools just to do a little bit more cleanup. I tried it this way and it worked pretty good. And so what I'm doing here is I'm using the shaper origin to cut this slot for my tray that I'm making out of this ash wood. The ash wood is not the greatest. It's got a lot of flaws. It's got a lot of splits. It's got a lot of bug holes. And anyway, this test I did turned out pretty good, but it was really hard to do because this large opening here was too large for the shaper origin. It kept kind of falling into the opening, so I had to literally hold it up and cut the slot. And so I'm trying this with the bigger piece of wood here, another piece of ash, and I divided up the slots, and I was just going to make these rectangular slots, 4 of them, one larger, but I found out that the shallowness of the edge of the wood here prevented me from cutting the thickness that I wanted for the whole thing, probably 1 inch. So here I'm going to have to cut it shorter, maybe a 1/2 inch. So this section, this section, this section, this section will be shallower. This section will be 1 inch. I'm going to test it out and see how that turns out. I'm not really sure, but I'm using the shaper to achieve all this. And that's my plan for the day. It is November 24th, I believe, and I'm just trying to get ready for some Christmas gifts. Here I use the shaper to cut the outer part of the slot, the first slot, and I cut it to the depth that I need, and I'll be pocketing out the rest later. So here's the sped up action of the pocketing of that first slot. And it's sped up 450 times. It's actually not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of arm force to cut these pockets out. I had a real workout that day. It's down a ½ an inch deep. That's all I can go because this is very shallow here. And here I'm cutting the bottom edges of the slots, and I'm cutting them gradually down to the 1 inch depth. So this is day 2 of my ash live edge tray build, slotted tray build. I'm going to have sections. This is going to be a ½ inch section. This is going to be a 0.84 inch section. All of these, they're going to be a little deeper just because of the, like I said, the narrowness of this part of the slab. Okay, so now I switched my bit from a 1/4 inch bit to a 3/4 inch flattening bit, and I'm going to work on removing all these sections here, here, and the big one here. And it takes much less time with the larger 3/4 inch bit. So we'll see how that goes. And so this is where I ended up after cleaning out this section here with the 3/4 inch bit. It did a decent job. It not perfect, but I've got some cleaning up to do with the chisel, sandpaper, a lot of work left. But I'm pretty happy with it. This Shaper Origin is an awesome machine. And now the sanding begins. And more sanding with a drill bit sander. And more sanding with the reciprocating sander. And now I'm using the heat gun and a dull chisel to remove the epoxy that I used to fill the bug holes. That's the residue of the epoxy. The heat gun is a great way to remove the residue. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm sanding with progressively heavier or lighter and lighter grit sandpaper. I'm at 120 now. I started at 80, and I've got this new little handheld sander. It's kind of dirty right now, but I think this thing is great. It gets into the tightest areas. This is somewhat flexible, so you can bend it to fit into whatever small areas you're working on. And it's very good. The sandpaper sticks to the Velcro mounting, and I love it. It's great. It's still sanding. I mean, sanding is sanding. What are you going to do? But this makes it a lot easier, because I don't know how I would get in these little nooks and crannies, but I think it's great. So now I'm just applying the Good Filla wood filler. This is the neutral clear wood filler. Usually I use the oak finish, but this is not oak. I don't know. This is probably ash. So that's what I'm using, just the clear, just to enhance the grain. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but we shall see when it dries and we sand it off. And then we put the real finish on it. Not the real finish, but the last in the process of the finish. And this is what it looks like after the good filla dries. It all has to be sanded off, but that's what it looks like. And of course, more sanding, getting to the end. So I decided to use Total Boat's Wood Honey on this. I had a little bit left over, so I thought I'd use it on this ash log. And this is how it turned out. My little tray made out of ashwood. In fact, I like the backside better. I really think this is kind of cool. I like to stand it up and, well, actually on the other side, like so. And it's kind of a neat sculpture. But the intent was to make a little tray out of it, like this, with different size slots. Well, actually, just 2 different sizes. And this is the result. And I did use the Shaper Origin to cut the slots out for this, the different leveled slots. And yeah, so anyway, please like and subscribe.